My client asked me, Dave, how many cases have you filed in your day? I told him. I guesstimated 6,500, of which maybe 1,500 were Chapter 13s. He says, oh, what's a Chapter 13? Chapter 13 is really when you're trying to save your house and you're behind on your payments, and that can last 3 to 5 years. Then a Chapter 7 is you're just trying to clear out the stable and get rid of a lot of things real quick, and that takes 90 days. Oh. And he says, well, since every other attorneys do that, what makes you so special about what makes you any different than any other bankruptcy attorney? Yes, you file a lot of cases, but tell me, Dave, what do you do different? Well, I said, after all these years, I've come to realize that the great challenge is to turn the problem into an opportunity, rather than just say, well, we put you through a car wash, you got everything cleared up, hello, goodbye. Because actually it doesn't work that way, and it doesn't work well, because there are many issues post-bankruptcy. So as a result of those issues, I developed a whole program for improving your credit score within 12 to 24 months post-bankruptcy. And we do this, there's no additional charge, to get you up to a 720. That's our goal. And we'll stick with you, work with you until you get your 720. Some of my truck driver clients say, I'm not interested in anything about that. Get my credit score. I don't care less. Thank you very much. A few years later, they come back. They say to me, well, Falvey, I got to tell you, I've been kicked in the pants so much with all of these high interest rates when I go get a car loan or any other thing. They say it more in guy language than that. I said, I got to get my credit score up, so I got to start listening to you. So what do we do? I said, okay, you're ready to go? Well, now you're listening, we'll do it. And I tell people, you don't have to do anything post-bankruptcy. There's no law on the books. But the law of common sense is there. And if you don't listen to the law of common sense, it's going to kick you in the pants. So rather than wait a few years and then decide to do something, you should start immediately. Because then when you want something, it's going to take me that long and I want to buy it tomorrow and I can't do it because of my credit. Yes, but you should have started way back a year ago and you'd be well along the way. Oh, darn it all. Okay. So then they start. And I also say other problems that people have before they file bankruptcy or after filing bankruptcy, we turn those problems into opportunities. And by this I mean, we turn around and we'll say to somebody, we want to tell you about the Telephone Communication Protection Act, TCPA, and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. And we have a whole handout on this and show people what to do. And as long as they follow it, a lot of times the creditors break the law and we sue people on a contingent fee basis. And we've given substantial checks to clients either before bankruptcy or after bankruptcy because we brought a lawsuit against the creditors for violating the law. And then many people will say to me, well, I know you can build up your credit by getting a secured credit card and all the rest and using it, so forth. I've heard about that. But I don't like that idea. And I tell people, well, guess what? The fastest way to build up your credit score is using a credit card. But before you go doing that, we have a whole program called the Penny Watchers. We have a website, pennywatchers.org. And we show you 1 penny at a time how you're going to save up or pay back all the debt that you discharged, but to yourself. So we want to turn that problem into your opportunity. We want to turn that problem into your financial goal. And many people have worked very hard on it, and they wound up saving up a down payment for a house or whatever they want to do with it. And people say, well, will I ever be able to buy a house? If you have a good credit score, you have a down payment, some steady income, you're going to buy a house. Guaranteed. And I have many people buying a house within 1 year post-bankruptcy, nor less 2 years post-bankruptcy. But the rule of thumb is between 1 and 2 years. But you want to build up your credit score so you can get a better interest rate. And ironically, Bankruptcy on your credit report is not used in calculating your credit score. People don't realize that. FICO, Fair Isaac Company. And I have that in my seminar that I give everybody. It's not a part of the equation of figuring out your credit score. And your credit score is determined really how they're trying to gauge on how you budget. Well, I have a whole program on budgeting. I even have an app for it too. And I follow it myself to keep myself in financial focus. And I want to tell you the secret. But even though I tell you this, it won't become real to you until you use it for 90 days. You have to develop the habit of recording all your expenses. Once again, you develop the habit of recording all your expenses. And there are good habits and bad habits, I tell people. And one of the good habits is washing your hands. I even talk about that. You say, don't tell me about that. Well, I'm going to tell you about it. When did this start? Well, it was actually in 1848 in Vienna. There was a Dr. Semmelweis. He became in charge of the hospital, and he decided that the doctors had to wash their hands. What they were doing, they were going from one operation to the next. They never washed their hands. So he insisted that they all wash their hands, and even put some Clorox in the water. Well, the mortality rate in the hospital plunged. But the doctors were insulted because they said, you're treating us like washerwomen. This is not necessary, because they didn't know anything back then about germs. They didn't. And so they actually got him drummed out of the medical profession. He died alone, and delirious, and broke in an asylum. 40 years later, a guy by the name of Louis Pasteur with a microscope proved to the world there were germs. And ever since then, people now are washing their hands. And you see it becoming more and more aware. Even today, they've become more aware, wearing plastic gloves while serving food. That going into a critical care unit. In many hospitals, you have to wash your hands, or you don't go, or intensive care units, they will not let you into the intensive care unit unless you wash your hands. It never used to be. They've become more and more aware of how simply important that germs are passed, because when people sneeze, it goes on your hand. You put your hand to your face a lot of times, and the easiest outlet for the viruses and the bacteria is your eye, and it gets into you through your eye more than any other way. So that's why the big push on washing your hands. You see it even in the grocery store. Wipe your hands with these wipes to cut down on the spread of germs. So what I have to say is, you develop this habit, and this habit will bring you into financial focus with our program, I assure you. But you have to do it for 90 days, and then you can turn around and tell me, I don't know what I'm talking about. But no one's ever been able to do that, because it always works.